All right, so this is a suggestion via a donation. The name of the video is how life will look in 2050. Let's theorize. Let's check it out, guys.
Since the turn of the century, technology has rapidly improved. Our reality is now filled with things that were mere dreams in the past few decades. Seeing how...
Guys, I'm gonna be honest really quickly. This is amazing. Like this here, this sounds like a great idea. I think we have some type of tech like that, but I'm not sure it's that flexible though. But the idea of that actually is solid. But I think we'd probably have to make like this little pole thing a little, not so big. Everyone will be walking around with these gigantic poles that, fold out to like a 40-inch monitor.
Our reality is now filled with things that were mere dreams in the past few decades. Seeing how the past has unfolded, I was curious about what the next 30 years would look like. So I did a little digging into what life might look like in 2050 for us. Let's take a look. Nanotechnology.
Okay.
First, let's take a look at nanotechnology. Over the years, scientists have made exciting developments and discovered numerous innovative applications for nanotechnology. As it stands, nanotechnology has the potential to change life as we know it. Experts in the field believe that nanobots will, in the future, be fitted into our brains to connect us to the virtual world more readily and faster. With the use...
And also that type of technology is going to be used heavily, most likely, if it ever, exists, in a lot of health-related things. I think the cure for cancer absolutely is going to be probably that mix of stem cells, most likely, guys. I think the medical bots, for the most part, would be the way to cure a lot of things in our bodies, guys.
Of brain-computer interface technology, the mind and computer will be one, making humans very powerful beings with access to endless information and solutions to problems that the mind wouldn't be able to solve. If nanotechnology reaches that stage, there may be no need for gadgets like phones and calculators. Well, this is very exciting for the student of the future. Looks like math will not be a universal challenge much longer. 3D print technology.
Bro, what student? There will be no students. I just want you guys to be fully aware. We have technology right now called acify.ai, where if you are, let's say you get a surprise test of 200 questions and you have your computer, which most college students do now, all you're going to literally do is open Acify and then it'll ace your test. That's what it will do. It'll fully do that, right? I mean, if we do have technology where we can put into our brains actually assist with processing power, guys, what students? Everyone is going to have the overall same basic level of education. Everyone you encounter will have the same level, guys. What do you have to do now? No more studying, right? You just push a button and get the upload, guys. Get the update for the most part, right? What students?
The next tech advancement that we can expect in the future is the rise of 3D print technology. 3D print technology is already advanced, but we can expect it to be even more advanced in 2050. Right now, we have 3D printed tools and homes. In the future, we will be able to print more tools and perhaps even some modes of transportation if bigger machines are built. This technology will also become more accessible to everyone who may want a 3D printer, making the possibilities of what can be printed infinite. If the current trend of open source 3D printable files continues, it will not be long before everyone prints their own large objects like furniture and weapons. Well, here's an idea. How about...
Yeah, uppers mostly. And the thing about this here, when it comes to 3D printed houses though, they're printing them basically in concrete. Are these houses really good for wind? Oh yeah. Think about most of the areas that are prone to, say, tornadoes, right? Nowadays, the South Alabama, some parts of Georgia, the Carolina Alley is pretty active these days, guys, right? If all of these houses in an area were to be converted to a 3D printed concrete house, that would absolutely be beneficial to the people that are living there. I mean, and think about this here, guys. The cost of these 3D printed houses are minuscule in comparison, guys. But the main problem are the walls. So unless you actually have someone go in and sand down the walls to be flat, you'll notice in a lot of these 3D printed houses that they're like bubbles, guys. They're like layers of. You can see each layer that was printed. Basically, some people like that look. Some people want it flat. I'd be one of those people that would want it flat. I think the company is actually coming out of Germany, who's doing a lot of 3D printed concrete houses. There are a couple here in the States, but the machines are being brought from Germany.
About developing an affordable 3D printer for food. That
That's
could
happening
be
now.
the end of world hunger, despite global warming. Medical. Now we go from the extinction of phones to the eradication of death. Well, by 2050, the finality of death may be a thing of the past. With the brain connected to a computer through BCI technology, the information stored in our brains can be transferred into a hard disk like computer files. That means the data, including memories, can be retrieved and uploaded into another being, maybe a more advanced humanoid robot. This way, the best minds in every field will be preserved and able to continue working on innovations. Another improvement to consider in the medical field is that serious diseases like cancer will be cured. The only downside to this development is that every new technology is very expensive when it first comes out, so the rest of us may not have access to this literally life-saving technology for a while. Transportation. Something that we may have access to is transportation. In 2050, transportation will have immensely changed. With experimentation focused on self-driving cars already underway from car manufacturers such as Tesla, it is not much of a stretch to believe that by 2050, the technology for fully automated vehicles will exist.
And guys, that technology actually exists right now, kind of like you stated here, regarding like the Tesla Model X, like the full driving capability costs roughly $12,000 to upgrade your Tesla to that. The interesting part about that is that if all of the other cars on a road were self-driving, there would never be any issues with these cars. I think the main issue is the human aspect of it, guys. So if you take every human out of the vehicle and then just put nothing but Tesla vehicles that have the ability to self-pilot themselves, guys, yeah, perfect. No complaints. Seriously.
Some notable advantages of such automated vehicles include a drastic reduction in traffic-related deaths because the vehicles will collaborate with traffic control systems. Another advantage is the change in lifestyle that self-driving vehicles will bring. With no need to man a vehicle, people will be free to choose whether to relax or be more productive as they travel. A lot of free time, considering the amount of time spent in traffic. Another interesting development is the Hyperloop One project by Elon, which aims to move the bulk of public transportation underground. With the use of electromagnetic levitation at historic speeds of 310 kilometers per hour, this train presents the opportunity for a faster, cheaper, and cleaner mode of transportation. And if more people opt for it, then there will be even fewer traffic-related incidents. Fuel. Still on transportation,
guys, I like the
fuel
idea.
used in all future transport.
Really quickly, I love the idea of that. I mean, if that could be a thing where we can kind of mitigate a lot of the traffic on the highway, and then, you know, bring everyone underground and have it like that, sure. But I think that vehicle or the train car would need to be extremely long to have enough people there, and there cannot be any delays. So if it is a obvious better option, then people will do it. I'm telling you. If it is like, oh, well, you need to wait this long, people are not going to do it. They're not, right? Who's also going to clean out all these cars? Right, these train cars. Who's going to do that? There are a couple of questions, pretty much a lot of questions I would have if we were to go forward with that project, at least.
Transportation modes will be renewable energy. Currently, the world is plagued by global warming and the threat of depleting natural resources, so we do need to be looking at adapting to a more sustainable source of energy. Now, Hyperloop One is exploring electromagnetic levitation, and the automobile industry has also been looking for ways to reduce harmful vehicle emissions. These are all efforts aimed at achieving the goal of stopping the use of carbon-emitting fuels. Besides those, research is being done on the ocean's wind, solar, and thermal energy. One company in particular, Blue Rise, a specialist developer of ocean thermal energy conversion, is working on a project that could completely phase out the use of fossil fuels. Hopefully, Blue Rise and their colleagues will be successful soon enough to alleviate some of the environmental problems we face. Space exploration. Now, if there is one thing that has been mentioned as a mitigating option for our current environmental challenges, it's space exploration and colonization. Companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin are set on revolutionizing space technology, with goals of spatial exploration and ultimately enabling people to live on other planets in colonies. With all the strides already made, by 2050, space tourism will also be a reality for those who can afford it. The possibilities for holiday destinations
Yeah, guys, because right now the tickets are about $430,000.
will
just to basically go to space and come right back down. Basically, a 20, 30-minute excursion for $430,000. I think Virgin Galactic is doing it.
Planned to include places like Mars and the Moon. Unfortunately, a trip to orbit will be significantly expensive, making it exclusive for the extremely wealthy, at least at first. Artificial intelligence.
And really quickly, again, regarding this here, we don't belong in space, guys. I understand we all want to do it. Well, not everyone, obviously, but there's a gigantic portion of the population who absolutely want to do it, but we don't belong in space. Our bodies are not meant for it. It's too much radiation. But we're going to have to find a way to mitigate radiation almost 100% to the human body. We also have to figure out exactly how you're going to maintain the human's ability to walk, right, during that gigantic distance. There are so many questions here. Right? I think the only way we're going to move planet to planet would be maybe some type of swarm bot that has the ability to kind of rebuild itself or build more of itself in other places. Basically small nano spaceships so that again have its own ability to create itself and move forward. I think that's the way we can colonize the galaxy for the most part. It would just be colonizing in thought or something, guys. Other than that, until we can figure out a way to mitigate the massive amounts of harmful radiation in the human body, I'm not sure we're ready for that.
Something that may be available for everyone is artificial intelligence. Already more advanced than most of the innovations mentioned here, the development of artificial intelligence will only get better through the years. Experts in the field believe that AI will surpass the processing power of living brains.
Obviously.
That wouldn't be scary if it didn't open the door to the robopocalypse. Luckily, scientists still have to figure out how to impart all the important human values into an AI before it can become a part of our everyday life. But the rise of AI will, of course, change the face of the workforce. Not only that, but the job market will also face radical change. And with the way things are going, about half of the world's current jobs will be extinct, taken over by AI machines and robots.
Guys, that's going to happen no matter what we do or where we, even if we try to stop it, it's too late. I kind of fought against one thing, and it's going to sound really terrible. The concept of making a mandatory minimum wage or raising the minimum wage up to like $15 in some places in the United States of America, I knew exactly, as a business owner, right? I knew exactly what was going to happen, and it's just coming to fruition. For example, if I owned a restaurant and we were already kind of cutting into any type of profit share from this company, but we were employing people at a pretty standard range compared to what everyone else is doing, right? And then out of nowhere, the government says, we need to raise, we need to do a mandatory $15 minimum. Okay. No problem. We'll do this for now, but then what's going to happen is now I'm going to go ahead and buy whatever robot AI technology I possibly can. I'm going to hire one person to sit in the building to basically maintain the machines, and now we're going to be extremely efficient. All right. No human error. We're just going to literally purchase at one time the machines to run all day, all night if I really wanted them to, and have one person in the building if a human is needed for anything. That's it, a manager, basically. And that's what's happening, and that's what's looking to happen within the next 5 years. This mandatory minimum really hurt the people that are going to hurt the people that are asking for it, that needed it more than anyone else, because now the companies, again, companies have no feelings. What they're going to do is just that, right? This is why Walmart now has all these, they have to raise the mandatory minimum. Everyone's getting $15, and now there's no cashiers. You see what I'm saying here, guys? This is what was going to happen when that happened, right? But,
2050, the world will be more interconnected and even more driven by data than
big
it is
picture,
now.
Guys,
Some
big
of us
picture.
will definitely need to consider a career change. Education. As the job market changes, education will also see some significant changes. Already, there has been an increase in digital learning, especially during the pandemic. By 2050, completely digital schools will be commonplace. Even if we have physically attended schools, they will have no need for books, using tablets and laptops instead. For higher education, experts believe that more than 70% of the student population will be enrolled in online degrees, making education more globalized. A rather welcome step in the right direction if we are to make good education education accessible to all, I believe. Online degrees may even be taught by AI-powered robots. At that time, I imagine the robots will be able to prepare course material, give lectures, and mark assignments. Sadly, you may be unable to twist your lecturer's arm, so they give you a deadline extension. The metaverse. Now we move on to the metaverse. Since Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced it, virtual reality and AI have been assimilated into our everyday life through the social media giant. For those who may be a bit confused about
It's crazy right here. They're actually showing not so much VR, but AR.
into our everyday
Augmented
life
reality.
through the social media giant. For those who may be a bit confused about the metaverse, you're not alone, and you've come to the right place. The metaverse is a virtual reality computer-generated environment in which you can interact with other users through AI-enabled software.
it's
So
fun.
it's about simulation, with avatars representing users.
Right.
As metaverse functions get more developed, by 2050 it will be able to offer a full virtual experience that includes shopping to travel right from the comfort of your own home. People will have the option to share their virtual experiences with the world. Imagine taking a trip to your favorite holiday destination with your family, only you're not physically there. That's what the metaverse will offer.
I mean, bro, I'm thinking this video is probably a little old because, guys, we can do that right now, like without any issues. I do this all the time. I hang out in Horizon, guys. I do this all the time, and I mean this thoroughly. I go to concerts with my friends and things like that, guys. We do this.
Seems to me like the more we get connected, the more we stay apart. Money. Next is money. Even though we will still use money, one thing that has been used less and less over the years is cash. Keeping up with that trend, cash will most likely no longer be used in 2050.
And that'll basically be the end of any type of freedom you once had. If we lose cash, we lose freedom, okay? I honestly hope we never see a day where we no longer have the ability to utilize cash, guys. I'm telling you. Imagine a time where every single thing you do is now taxed. Everything, right? There's no, I bought, pick up something random. I bought this camera, okay? So I bought this camera, and I'm done using this camera, so I'm going to sell it to my friend. And when I sell it, you now are going to be taxed, if that makes any sense, for selling your property because you took money, basically. Guys, that's where we are. That's what would happen if you were to do that. It's ridiculous. Keep cash. Trust me. Fight against the concept of no longer using cash. Fight against it to the death, guys. I'm telling you. It's mandatory.
Transactions will be done virtually, and new modes of financial transactions will emerge because of AI and decentralized finance. As the world slowly starts to adopt those technologies, we may not even have to do our own grocery shopping anymore, making traditional paper and plastic money.
Yeah, this is the old video, guys. Because you can listen. I haven't gone to the grocery stores in months.
Even less useful. Like Tesla, which orders its own car parts as needed, our automated pantries and refrigerators may order our groceries. No more getting the wrong milk, or even running out of milk. Real estate. Speaking of the
Bro, Samsung has a refrigerator that can kind of do that right now.
Automation of home appliances, the homes in 2050 will also be completely automated smart homes. Although smart homes already exist, the developments that will be available in the next few decades will be a great improvement to what we have now. Smart homes in 2050 will have full AI activation functions, allowing the home to sense our moods and requirements without giving it a single command. Additionally, interactive hologram
Why would you want that?
televisions will exist, meaning that you can verbally call up your hologram TV and it will appear right in front of you. The best part? You will never have to look for the remote again, because you can control the TV with your mind using nanotechnology, as discussed at the beginning of the video. So with that, we have come full circle in this video of exploring what our lives will look like in 2050. To be honest, this is just an exercise of imagination,
Obviously.
and I realize that not everything discussed in this video will come true. However, you'd have to agree that none of this is too far-fetched either, as humanity has already planted the roots of many of these technologies. Anyways, one thing is for certain with how technology is progressing. I have no doubt that the world will be very different by 2050. But I do hope that our current societal systems and structures will be able to cope with these coming innovations. So, what do you think of these future innovations? Do you think this is what life will look like in 2050? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button and continue watching by clicking on one of the cards on your screen. See you in the next one.
All right, guys. So here's the thing. A lot of what was said here, I think, is extremely plausible. Some of the things I honestly hope we never encounter. The concept of getting rid of money, like physical pay, like money, that's ridiculous. But then also the concept of nanotechnology. At first, I was just like, yeah, you know what? Listen, it's going to have the ability to help people, but just keep in mind, probably not Americans. All right, because Americans are probably the largest population of people who. Oh, let's see. Do you remember when the 19 happened? And see, well, I was outside of America when it happened, guys. So I didn't really understand so much how everyone was going crazy about the shot that was needed, right? But so I can only imagine if you're saying that, yeah, everyone's going to eventually most likely need to get some type of nanotechnology implanted in them. Do you know how suspicious and paranoid Americans are? Have you seen anything about it? Guys, it'll never happen. All right? I can't imagine somebody saying, listen, people are already saying that nanotech was inside of the shot. What are you talking about? Right? But you know what? Sure. All right. But so that's the thing, right? So I can't imagine people being forced, specifically Americans being forced to involve themselves in that type of thing. And most likely that type of tech is going to come from America. I'm telling you. So, listen. But yeah, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.